Okay, second time I'm trying to do this. My battery's dying the first time. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry for the delay for the last few months. A lot of stuff came up, and I didn't have time to review records. I was gonna do, I forget what I was gonna. I think I was gonna do Air Vulgaris by Queens of the Stone Age, but I think I did a bit too much like kind of alternative rock, hard rock stuff. So I kind of wanted to start off with something on a different page, but reason why I haven't been reviewing in the past 4 months is I found that I'm moving to Ohio, which is cool. I guess I'm still going to the same school I was going to go to, and I got a job, so I haven't had as much time to do it. I'm trying to finish out my senior year of high school. I'm just I've just been busy lately, so I haven't really had too much time to review records. And something I want to say before I start, and I probably will do just a basic individual review of this whenever I get a chance. I saw a Robert Plant concert, which is pretty freaking cool. He opened with Black Dog, and then he played mostly, like, it's with Band of Joy, so he just played mostly Americana stuff and a couple of gospel songs, and they closed with Ramble On, which was amazing. Like, that was probably the best 6 or 7 minutes of high school. If you want to see the version I saw, it's Louisville Palace, 4/8/11. Dude, it's awesome. Just watch it if you get the chance. But anyway, record I'm reviewing this week. I might even put another review out tomorrow, so just to catch up. But anyway, record reviewing today is Kill Em All by Metallica, the first record. And the reason I'm doing this record is because Ride the Lightning, the trilogy, like Ride the Lightning, Master Puppets, and Injustice for All are some of my favorite records of all time, and I'd be way too biased to give them like straight 9s or 10s. So I decided to do this one because it's actually my least favorite out of their early records. And that's not to say it's a bad record, but I definitely think it's their weakest out of whatever they put out in the 80s. And that's mainly for the reason that I just don't think that they were really mature songwriters at that time, or at least lyrically. And they were also kind of going through a rough transition in switching from Dave Mustaine to Kirk Hammett. And he wrote Dave Mustaine wrote a lot of the riffs to this, and they still use that. A lot of the stuff, like I'm actually listening to the Four Horsemen right now, which is the mechanics on the first Megadeth record. I think it's the first record. I don't know my Megadeth as well as I know my Metallica. But anyway, about this record. This is I'm trying to get my stuff right. This is Megaforce Records, distributed by Elektra. Produced by Paul Curico and Johnny Zua. I think this is when they were still trying to find, their sound, because this is, there's a lot less progressive elements as there was on Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, but, it's a lot more, I think there's a lot more punk influence on this record. Like, I don't mean, like, a lot of punk influence, but I think that there's a more punk influence on this record, more so than, say, on Master of Puppets, just because, like, there's a lot, they don't have, like, these kind of soft breaks like they do on Welcome Home and Master of Puppets, like that midsection. Instead, they just, those songs are just kind of top to bottom heavy, but also, you don't really notice that, like, you kind of notice if you look at the track listing, all the songs are kind of, they're shorter than they are on those records. Like on Injustice for All, they're all over, I think, 5 or 6 minutes long, whereas on this record, I think the shortest one is 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Yeah. And that's not the only thing, is, that they haven't matured musically. Lyrically, they definitely haven't, because he's so right. Just read the verses to something like Hit the Lights or Whiplash. Not to say that they're bad songs, but they're just not, lyrically they're just not that good. And like I said, James Hetfield hadn't really come to full bloom as a songwriter at the time. So, and how he phases some, how he sings some of the stuff isn't good, because in Metal Militia, which I think could have been a great song, he just kind of goes Metallica, which, you know, that weird, out of time, you know, just struggling to keep it in time. Seeing that worked for like Ian MacKaye and HR from Bad Brains, and, you know, Henry Rollins when he was in Black Flag. That worked for them because it sounded cool. This is punk rock, but I mean, this is metal. So, and, you know, I had a friend once that said that all the really great musicians play metal. You know, like a lot of really, like, metal is the genre that attracts the, you know, the better musicians out of. You know, like, you get, like, and that, I think that's really true, because you lost my train of thought, sorry. You do get a lot of good musicians from metal. Like, I think most of the drummers out, I mean, I think metal has some of the greatest drummers out there. They definitely have some of the greatest bass players. I mean, I hate to sound cliche, but look at Cliff Burton. The thing that bothers me about this record, though, to rapidly switch subjects, is kind of the fact that, you know, there's so much bad vibes over this record between Kirk Hammett and Dave Mustaine, and really, people go on about the Megadeth versus Metallica thing, but really, I mean, and I will say that Megadeth really doesn't sound too much like Metallica, but basically they're the same styles of music. I mean, you know, listen, I mean, and, you know, you listen to the Megadeth records, and the soloing is, you know, and the same with the Metallica records, there's a lot of really shreddy soloing, and with metal guitarists, you kind of get, two camps, I'd say. You get kind of like the guys who play really fast and technically, like Dave Mustaine, Kerry King, Kirk Hammett, like, you know, the ones that play, but a lot of their stuff basically just sounds the same. And then you get people like Tom Morello and Adam Jones, who are a lot more creative in what they play, but and, you know, it's not as technical and doesn't take as much skill to play, but it's still, you know, it's still more, they still sound different on every record. And that's not to say that that the guys from Slayer and Metallica don't. And then you get the people like Michael Okerfeldt from Opeth and the guy from Meshuggah, who, but, you know, they managed to combine those two things, which is why I think that, you know, Michael Okerfeldt's one of the most underrated guitar players of all time. But nothing I think I like about this record is that it definitely is a milestone in this genre. I mean, extreme metal is one of those really cool things to, I mean, if you ever seen Heavy Destroy, I mean, not that, Metal Headbanger's Journey, it's about, you know, it's about a guy who's an anthropologist that studies the culture of metal, which I think is an awesome premise anyway. But, you know, it's kind of an like, studying the anthropology of, like, extreme metal is really interesting, because just the other night I was watching an interview with Vard Vikernes after he got out of prison. If you don't know who Vard Vikernes is, he's the old bass player from Mayhem. He also does Burzum, who, he killed the guitar player of his band, and it's so weird to watch him talk about the murder, because he, you know, I mean, you expect him to be all intense about it, but he's really just like, he sounds like he's talking about his shoes. Like, there's one point in the interview he's just like, and he was basically swimming in shards of broken glass, and then I stabbed him in the head and he stopped moving. I mean, this guy just sounds like he's just talking about his day at the grocery store, and he spent 15 years in jail and escaped once, and he's just like, he's a really intense guy to watch an interview with. And I definitely think that this is a milestone in extreme metal, and it definitely kind of opened a lot of doors. I think that's probably one of the reasons why I think this record will, you know, along with Metallica's other records, is probably going to stand the test of time. But I think, you know, probably because of the production, because they were not, the production on this record is not nearly as good as when they were recording in Denmark with Flemming Rosman. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Because the production sounds good. So it's not really going to be as, it's not as crisp as that production, so I don't think it's going to be as rumored as well. So, all in all, because of production and it's just not as creative as the other records, I'd probably give this record a solid 8. The 8 because it definitely is a milestone in extreme, you know, thrash metal and extreme metal altogether. I mean, yeah, I'd say heavy metal altogether, but so I'm trying to think of a point where it can end. Well, thanks for watching. If you still are, please comment in the comment section. I beg you, subscribe. Thanks for watching again. If you have any idea what I should review next, just tell me. Also, metal fans out there, please don't kill me. Thanks. Bye.